control.
This is the story of how we went on the run from coronavirus.
Look at this. How lucky are we? Weeks skiing with family. It's been awesome.
So we're back to Turin to get the camper van, and then we're off to Venice.
Yeah, where Brian's coming, our friend.
We're going to have a couple of days with him.
Yeah, exciting.
Should be fun.
We drove across Italy, camped overnight, and woke up to news that towns across northern Italy were under lockdown. We realised we'd camped about 15 kilometres away from one town and driven near several others on our route.
Oh,
Just been waiting for Brian at the airport. We found him,
and
it's amazing. He gets given a leaflet on coronavirus, and it's amazing the number of people that are coming through with face masks on.
I've been thermaled.
He's been
I'm
thermaled,
okay.
so he hasn't got it. Hopefully, we haven't got it. We'll have to go and find Chris now.
Go see Chris. My family's here.
Okay.
Here in Venice.
The coronavirus has meant the Venice Carnival was cancelled a couple of days early. I feel really sorry. There's all these people. I know this is a first world problem. All these people with these amazing outfits on looking for a party, and they've got nowhere to go. But it's awesome. They're walking around town with their amazing costumes on, so it's quite fun for us to see.
Apparently, Venice is the place that never has an off-season. It's always rammed. But with the coronavirus, there is just nobody around.
We've been pondering what to do next, and we still don't really know with the coronavirus. As you can see, this campsite's pretty empty. There's us and two other vans. Brian leaves today, so we're going to hang around and drop him off at the airport, and then we're just debating where to go. It's a bit surreal. Don't really know. I got a bit upset last night because I kind of don't want to go back to New Zealand yet, because I feel like I've still got travelling in me, and I still have got my objectives of why I went travelling in the first place, which was to go and travel on the Trans-Mongolian Railway. It's harder to go travelling sometimes than you think. Like, you'd think it was a dream, but so far, obviously, with my dad dying and then coronavirus throwing itself into the ring, I don't know, it's not the dream sometimes. Anyway, I'm still having a nice time, but where do I want to be in lockdown? I certainly don't want to have coronavirus, that is for sure.
Just done an emergency shop and stock up in case we have to self-isolate. How horrible is that?
This exercise is a bit shit. It's put us both with a feeling of, in your stomach of not greatness.
Yeah, no.
Wednesday, 26th of February.
2020.
We're down in Venice, and the coronavirus is kicking off, and now we're wondering what we should do. Do we? Because we basically came through the hot spots of Italy, where the towns have been quarantined and cut off. Do we?
We didn't talk to anybody, and we just stayed the night in a lay-by. But this whole area is kind of hot spot, and we're a bit worried about being stuck. Chris wants to go into France.
Closer to going to the UK, to a healthcare and a language system that we understand.
I'm worried.
Closer is Slovenia.
Yeah, I'm worried that if we go into France, we've then got to drive back through the hotspots. And also, it's exactly the opposite direction from where we wanted to be. I guess I'm trying to bury my head in the sand a bit and want to go to Slovenia and carry on my holiday. But I want to also just get out of this area of Italy.
And also, if we do contract the virus, where would we want to do that? And if we had to self-isolate, do we have enough food to do that for at least a fortnight? And also, where's the healthcare system that's good to look after us?
In short, we're just having a bit of a
One more thing.
panic.
One more thing is, if we get down to Slovenia, and we want to get out and go towards the UK, we've then got the Alps to cover and to cross, go through tunnels and all that type of stuff, and our van isn't equipped really.
And
to
as
go
you
on
know,
snow.
our van is a summer van. And this is a completely bizarre end to one of the most surreal days we've had travelling. So, I'm about 10 metres inside Slovenia now. Just come out for a walk just to stretch my legs. It's freezing. Ironically, the place where we're staying originally was built as a quarantine station for infectious diseases. We came over the border running away from Italy and the coronavirus, and came around the corner and basically drove straight into a car park where we were camping tonight. There was nothing, nobody, well, European borders, free. But just a bit bizarre after having been completely paranoid today, going to the supermarket to get some food so that if anything did go wrong we'd be okay and able to survive. Come here, nothing. It's kind of like quiet. Look how pretty this place is. It's kind of like picture postcard.
It is.
And quite quiet compared to some of the big cities we've been to. But busy for Slovenia. Saturday busy in a touristville.
We then chilled out for a week and did some touristing. While we were there, the border from Italy to Slovenia was closed.
Bit confused. Croatia is actually called something completely different. I haven't got a clue how to pronounce that. And the signs for Croatia are all HR, and their number plates are all HR. I'll have to learn how to pronounce it. Anyway, stunning drive.
Croatia was beautiful, though campervan logistics was hard. It's illegal to free camp, and campsites weren't open until mid-April, so it was hard to find places to drop the toilet and get water.
Shortly after we arrived, Croatia also announced all new entrants should go into self-isolation for 14 days from arrival, and borders across the world started shutting.
We found an idyllic but illegal spot to camp for a couple of days, but rather than relaxing, we spent the time fretting about what to do. In the end, we decided being in Croatia would be too hard in a campervan until campsites opened, especially if we were locked down, so we headed back to Slovenia.
In a part of my mind, I still thought I could travel around Slovenia, although Chris was keener to stay put by a nice town, a beach, and where the camper could be serviced.
Good place to be, better than the supermarkets. Look at this. We stocked up on enough food for a month, and our panic buy was new trainers so we could stay fit. Here we are in Slovenia, and unfortunate circumstances with the coronavirus, we now decided to head off, aiming towards the UK.
So that we can probably go back to New Zealand. I can't say this without crying. Feeling a bit emotional at the moment because we've been through a stressful couple of days, but we want to do it before we get shut in here and, you know, stuck. Shitty.
It's not
Probably wouldn't say that.
the travelling we wanted to do.
No. It is not #Vanlife dream life, that's for sure.
We had a funny experience today in the market where a guy wouldn't serve us food with us, and that's really pushed us over the edge. I'm driving back now.
Want to buy a van? So it's 9:20 now. We've been driving since about 4 o'clock. Did have a quick stop for something to eat. Just come out of a tunnel somewhere in Austria, and it's blooming snowing, and we're on the snow line. I'm sure it looks very pretty, but we do not want to be driving in snow, so hopefully we descend at a rapid rate and get somewhere that isn't snowy and is warmer for us to spend the night. We're going to try and find somewhere in Germany over the border, so we've probably got about another hour and a half of driving to go.
11 p.m, we're in Germany. Hooray!
Hooray!
263 miles so far.
Don't know what that is in kilometres. Anyway, we're spending the night here. We've gone through, left Slovenia, no border control, into Austria, no border control there, waved through in Germany, so yippee-doo. We've had some snow. We've now found out that the route we were taking, which was going to go out of Germany pretty early on and into France, is not the best one, because apparently there are some limitations and controls from the French side of
people coming through Germany, so we're going to try and go up through Germany and then across through Belgium and hopefully get on a ferry sometime tomorrow. We've still got a long way to go.
Morning.
Well, it's not. It's the middle of the night. It's 5 o'clock in the morning. Somebody's been awake for at least an hour. Wanted to get driving.
This is Pants.
Okay, so we've made it to Calais. As of yesterday morning, we kind of made a decision to stay in Slovenia, and then we thought we'd made the decision, walked into town, went to buy some vegetables because we'd actually had difficulty getting vegetables at the 4 supermarkets we'd been to the day before. I then bought 3 onions and asked for 2 lemons, and the guy at the market stall put 3 lemons on the scales, and when I said I only wanted 2, he threw the lemons back in the box, grabbed the onions off me and turned his back and refused to talk to me and wouldn't serve me. So that kind of pretty upset both of us. Made Chris particularly wonder about how sustainable it was going to be to stay in a place if people suddenly became funny with foreigners. So here we are. We basically drove yesterday through to Austria and then stayed overnight just over the border in Germany, which is blooming good because today, as we're driving through Germany and then on into Belgium and France, we understand that the borders are closing around Germany tomorrow. So we are going back to the UK. Then we've got to work out how to get back to New Zealand because there are a number of countries that won't let us transit through. And even when we get to New Zealand, we've got to self-isolate for 14 days. And because our house is rented out, we don't actually have anywhere at the moment to isolate. New Zealand became the first country to call its citizens a residence home. And that gave us a warm feeling, as New Zealand is our home.
Drove to my mum's on Monday morning. We can't see Chris's parents because they're self-isolating down in South Wales, and also we just wanted to get out of here as quick as possible as things are getting more and more kind of contracted across Europe. Main thing for us has been to try and sell the van before we could even get on a plane or do something with the van. Just getting ready to say goodbye to the van. It's Wednesday after a rock and roll couple of days where we thought we'd sold it. Then that fell through. Then we thought we'd got a friend who would take it for us and try and sell it for us, and that fell through. And then all we could find was a scrap man that would take it. And then I put a last minute ad out on the local Facebook page where my mum lives, and yay, somebody's taking it. So Chris is inside the van signing the paperwork at the moment. Haven't got much money for it, but I am so much happier it's not going to the scrap man, and they've got a good deal and it'll be loved when all this craziness is over. Yesterday we managed to get a flight sorted, which is great, going through Singapore. Great. So tomorrow we set off on our flight, so we should be back New Zealand time on Saturday morning. Then we've got to go into self-isolation. Amazing feedback from people. Thank you so much. We've had lots of people giving us suggestions of places to stay. We've got a place to stay. Thank you, Hannah. Now I've written a shopping list. Colin and Katrina are going to go off and try and do some shopping for us and leave us a vehicle at the airport so that we can actually get to Hannah's place.
What a flipping disaster.